And just like that, it is showtime. Good evening, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Okay, I am your host for tonight, your girl Dina. Okay, now you already know what it is. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so at this time. Journey with Dina, that would be me. If you've already subscribed, don't forget to hit the notification bell that is at the bottom so you will be notified when I go live. Okay. Hope you have had a wonderful day today. Hope you've enjoyed the weather, even though, baby, it was hot outside. Okay. I went to the park at 7:15 and it was scorching hot at that time. Okay. So hopefully y'all didn't burn up too bad today. Okay. So tonight we are ready to get into our new series. Okay. But before we do that, when you log on, do me a favor. Drop down in the comments and let me know who's watching and where you're watching from, okay? I know your parents taught you to speak when you enter the house, right? So come on, speak to me when you enter the house and drop it down in the comments where you are watching from and who you are, okay? I ain't gonna do nothing to you, okay? Even if you watch the replay, go back and put in I watched the replay, where you watched it from, your city, anything you want to say, okay? Just drop a little something in there, right? So, as I said, we started a new series on yesterday. And that series, before I get there, so we've been talking about doing the inner work, becoming whole, and all the work that we do on ourselves before, God releases us to be with that kingdom spouse, right? We've identified them, we did the work, we're whole and we're ready, and we just sitting there, we ready, we just waiting. Like they said, put me in the game, coach. We waiting for God to put us in the game. But guess what? Sometimes God says, no, not yet. Still some things that I got to do. Some other places, and it ain't time yet. So that time, I call that time in the meantime, in between time and until it's time, the waiting period. So we are starting a new series. We started on yesterday, and tonight we're going to get into it a little deeper, called the waiting period. And tonight we are going to touch on spiritual growth. That was and has been a very big one for me in this season of my life. Um, and I talked to one of my friends maybe 2 years ago, and we was talking about preparing to be married and all that kind of stuff, because probably about 98% of my friends are married, right? So this one particular friend, we was talking, and we were talking about praying for your spouse, and she was like, "Well, when you get married, you got to pray for them every day." I was like, "Every day?" She was like, "Yeah, you got to pray for them every day." So I was like, "Okay." So now I have gotten in the habit of praying every day for my future spouse, right? So not only that part, baby, the Lord took me on a whole nother level of spiritual growth in preparing for their kingdom spouse, right? Because as I said, everything that I'm going to talk about it has been my journey and my perspective on things. So I'm going to get into a couple things. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet, but honey, I found and between me and my book that I started writing, got a lot of stuff about spiritual growth, right? So what I found was it says that in the season of waiting can feel like a wilderness, but it's often where the deepest roots of growth take hold, right? Who? And the very first one is spiritual growth. Spiritual growth during these times mean learning to trust God's timing over your own. It's about surrendering, Lord, the desire for control and leaning into faith that God is preparing both you and your future spouse for something greater than you could orchestrate yourself. That's for purpose. Because God's purpose is bigger than what we can see or even imagine, right? Whew. Think of it as a divine pause, not to punish, but to prepare. That spiritual thing, y'all. Ooh, it's been a lot. And let me go back and dissect this little spiritual growth, okay? When it says learn to trust God's timing, oh my God, that that's one. I got a lot of big ones, but learning to trust God's timing was so huge for me. It still is huge for me, but not. I'm not as anxious as I was. But learning to trust God's timing is big because we can't see how it's gonna connect. We can't see how God gonna do it, when He gonna do it, because you know it's like He like to do it when He gonna do it when He want to do it, but it's like it takes so long, Lord. And in my spiritual growth, I've learned to trust God's timing. That what's meant to be will be in the time it is. But baby, it's a process to getting there. I ain't gonna say it happened overnight. And the Lord, He was very gracious with me because I know He was like, I'm sick of her, Lord. Here she come again. I told her the same thing over and over again, but here she come again, asking me about the same thing. But that trust in God's timing over your own. Because we are used to timing, like I said on last night, and God does not deal with the same type of timing that we does. Okay. It don't even add up the same. What they say, like a day to 1,000 years to us is like a day to God. Like what? Whew, that's a long time. And the part where it says about surrendering your desire for control. Now I've been told y'all I had a control issue. I think I told y'all that on last night. Like I want to control everything and how it moves because it feels like it's easier to brace things when you can kind of control it. You don't, it's like you always got your guards up. And it's easier to like if something happening that you feel like you can control it. You know how when you're a kid and somebody try to come and push you from the back, but you already got your stance. So you know if they push you, you know you can bounce back or you're gonna only go so far. Yeah. But when you surrender, it's like if they push me from the back and I fall, I fall. If I go this way, I go this way. And surrendering to that, that's still a big one for me. But I have grown to where I don't overthink it anymore. I'm like, I just go with it. And like whatever the Lord gonna do, He gonna do it in His timing. So as what they say, life is to be lived forward but understood backwards. And so as you grow and you look back on things that you be like, dang, I remember when. Cause let me tell y'all something. I go telling y'all my business already. I used to be a crier, okay? I don't care what happened. I'm gonna just go cry. I'm gonna just get in my feelings because I just need a good cry. I mean, whatever it is, if something broke down in the house, and stuff break down because it's the house. Baby, if my refrigerator went out or something, I'd be like crying, oh Lord, how I'm gonna do this or how I'm gonna get this done. The Lord just be looking at me like, really? I'm talking about one thing after another. If something happens, my first thing is to cry because that's the only thing I can control is just to cry and just let it out, right? So that was my coping mechanism. It's that's how I cope with things. My coping mechanism was just cry, just let it out, okay? And so that is has been a big part of my growth. Learning to, like I said, surrender my desire for control. Because guess what? We can't control it no way. You may think you controlling it, but yeah, God just sitting there looking like, whenever you stop putting your hand in it and getting out the way, then I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. But every time you put your hand in it, I'm just gonna step back and just wait for you to do it, right? So, um, that God is orchestrating something bigger than you because we all know it ain't just about us when we're waiting for that kingdom spouse, right? It's two people involved that God is trying to connect, and both people are probably doing the spiritual work, right? So it's a process to it. And a lot of things, even with the spiritual growth, comes in divine timing. Whoo! Divine timing is the belief that everything unfolds in your life at the exact moment that is meant to be. Not a second too soon or too late. It's not just about waiting, it's about trusting that there's a higher orchestration at play, even when things feel delayed or uncertain. Because you know that delay can have you feeling all types of ways, right? But delay don't mean deny. Delay just means it's not time yet. There's still some things in you I need to do while you're waiting. So don't look at it as if I've been waiting for this time. Just look at it as, oh, God is allowing me more time as I wait for my spiritual growth, to get some things together. Because once you get into marriage, baby, you're gonna be praying and stuff all the time, right? It ain't no ceasing. I don't believe the people I talk to, it ain't no ceasing. It's praying every day, not just one time a day, a couple times a day. And so one of the biggest things to spiritual growth God has had me in is, baby, that 4 a.m. prayer. For the past 3 years, the Lord wakes me up every morning between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock to pray every day. Like, come on, let's go. Cause like this got to be a part of your routine. Like you come on, you go. I got to start training you now, and so I've been training, praying, and I get up, I talk to God first, and give Him all His good mornings and His praises, and then I go on to my future spouse. I cover him in prayer wherever he is, from the top to the bottom. I even have affirmations in my phone. I probably got about three pertaining to my future husband. So guess what? Every morning when I get up and do my roll call, I add that into my day. I do my prayers, my affirmation, my scriptures. I was like, Lord, this is a bit much, but he was like, well, this is what you desire, so this is what I require. So let's get it. Let's get to work. So I be getting to work. And it says also that spiritual is about surrendering control and aligning your actions with faith. You still move forward, you still plan, you prepare, and you grow, but you release the pressure to force outcomes. Hmm. Divine timing is the universal truth that everything occurs exactly when it's supposed to. It is a rhythm, not a race. And when you learn to trust it, peace replaces panic. Because let me tell you something, like I said, I would cry, I would panic, and I wouldn't have no peace. But God has strengthened my spiritual growth so much so now when things happen, I just feel like, well, if it's out of my control, ain't nothing I can do but pray about it and go on about my business and let the Lord handle it, however that may be, right? So for me, that is a big spiritual growth that I have obtained, like praying early in the mornings, in the afternoons, surrendering, the need to know it all, how it's gonna work, the faith. Like this takes your faith to a whole nother level. So I used to think, they say you need the faith the size of a mustard seed. Well, guess what? Every level you go requires a different level of faith. As God continues to stretch you in your spiritual growth, you can't have the same faith that you had back then when you was younger. Oh, I'm believing God to just pay my car note. Well, you didn't believe God to pay your car note. The car paid off now. So you got to come up in your level of faith. So God takes each level is higher that you go into with it. So he will in the I say the growing pains or even with the growth, you still have to be stretched and it don't feel good all the time, but I promise you it is working for your good. When you look back and see how far you have grown, like I have, I feel so good, even though I didn't feel good in that time because I didn't have control of it. But I allowed God eventually to mold and to shape me to be who He desires me to be and not who Dina want to be because I don't know the greater picture of it. So apparently He got some more work for me to do because He's still pulling and shaping and mending and molding, right? If not, I will be on here tonight talking to y'all about it, okay? So I just wanted to come on tonight and break it down for you on the first growth that we're talking about, which is spiritual growth. I will be back on tomorrow night to talk about, let's see, what was the second growth? I think the second growth is personal growth. So, if you have not gotten through your spiritual growth, baby, get it together because it is a process. Consistent praying, even had me fasting. Like I fasted before, but I fasted because the church said we're gonna do a fast, and they give you a little postcard, tell you what you're fasting from, and all this, that, and the other. But when I've been on this journey, like I told y'all in the beginning, we went on a 25-day fast, and it was called the Year of the Bride by Tiffany Montgomery. You should go and watch the fast. It taught me how to fast in a whole different kind of way. And I'm like, it blew my mind. Now, one time that I get sick, but like I said, God put me on that fast. He showed me how to fast. So in this process of my spiritual, I gained more knowledge on fasting, praying, 4 a.m. praying, intercessory praying, like all the spiritual muscles just pumping and priming. Okay. So if you have not mastered, well, you ain't gonna never master, but if you haven't gotten deep into the spiritual growth, I ask you now to go ahead and get into it, because when God pushes you into doing it, oh, it's gonna be a whole nother level. So go ahead and get your journals now. Start preparing yourself to do your prayers, your fasting, your affirmations, getting your spiritual muscles together so that when God releases you to your kingdom spouse, then baby, I've been praying for you all my life. It seemed like, but just the last couple of years, but I got you covered, right? So until tomorrow, go back and watch the video from yesterday. Go back and watch the other videos and get ready to journey with me through the waiting period. Tonight we did cover spiritual growth. Tomorrow will be personal growth. So I will see you all tomorrow night at 7. Until then, have a good evening.